Hey, welcome to the channel. This is your host, Knuckle Up Gaming, and in today's video, we are going to be covering one of my favorite flyers, one of the best flyers in the game, one of the best tames in the game, really, the Argentavis. Now, the Argentavis is an absolutely phenomenal must-have creature. You absolutely have to have it. It is a fantastic creature. We are going to talk about where you can find one, how to tame one, what it's good for, but also real life facts about the real life creature. Because the real life creature, every bit as awesome and every bit as interesting as its ARK counterpart. So, to begin with, where can we find ourselves in Argentavis? If you look at our map here, anywhere you see an island or anywhere you see a mountain, you're going to see yourself in Argentavis. They are all over the place. Even like Carnal Island up there in the upper right, they are swamped with Argentavis. And even in other places that aren't necessarily mountainous. Like if you were to go over to roughly 15 or 1439, right there on the tip of that little guy right up there to the left, you will find yourself Argentavises there sometime. They are all over the place. We should have no problem finding ourselves in Argy. So, what are we going to need? Me personally, for this, I like the compound bow, and I'm going to show you guys exactly why. But you can use a crossbow, you can use yourself a long neck rifle with trank darts. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to show you exactly why I like using a compound bow with trank arrows. They take superior kibble, so let's come in here and let's grab ourselves some kibble. I have everything set to official rates, so we shouldn't have any issues. 13. We'll go with 13. That should be plenty. Now let's go. Oh, as you can see, I just grabbed an RG saddle. RG saddles are easy to make. They're, let's see here. RG. You don't need a smithy or anything. 150 chitin, 185 fiber, 350 hide. They're super easy to make. So let's jump on Blitzer here. And let's go find ourselves an Argentavis. Oops, wrong button. I think we are going to head over to the mountain that's right here in the Redwoods. As I said just a few minutes ago, there's going to be no shortage of RGs flying around here. I was actually at the mountain adjacent to the volcano, the one dead ahead of us right there. I was there just a little bit ago when I was preparing for the video, and I saw a slew of them. However, I kind of like this spot, so we're going to come over here. They should be starting to spawn in any minute now. I absolutely cannot recommend enough. You got to get yourself an Argentavis if you need to go in this game. And we're going to go over exactly why. But first and foremost, the first thing we're going to look for is an area, a safe area, that has some fairly flat ground. There's an RG right there. Perfect. Now we're going to scout the area. There's a Rex over there. That'll probably be fine. Let's come over here and we're going to park Blitzer. And we are going to pull out Broomhilda. We're going to just go ahead and clear this area up real quick. Don't poop on camera. That's bad manners. We're going to go ahead and clear this area up real quick. We don't want them to get messed up. We don't want our team get messed up by any of these Rexes or Aloes. Or, there's a lot of creatures that will actually aggro on it. Saber-tooths will aggro on it. Raptors will aggro on them. So just clear up the area a little bit so they don't mess up your taming efficiency. There we go. Done. Alright, we're going to head back up here. And what we're going to need is 4 stone gateways. You can use 3, you can use 5, you can use more. I personally just prefer using 4. That's just the number that I always seem to have the best luck with. You want to find yourself a nice little reasonably flat area. Yeah, this is reasonably flat enough. Alright, what we're going to do, one here. You want to space them far enough apart that where you can get through, but the RG can't. Three, 4. Should be good. Yep, that should be no problem. Already should be able to get through there. All right, cool, perfect. Now we're going to throw our doors on. Good. Let's go ahead and open this up. We're going to move you over here. I want you on passive. Now let's go get that RG. I'm not sure what level it is. Let's go see. There it is. Where you at, buddy? Come here. Come take a bite out of me. There is a little trick that I'm going to be showing you guys to taming these things up, to getting them any level RG you can tame up in just a matter of minutes. And I'm going to show you guys this trick assuming I can find exactly what I need. Some of you guys might already know this, but it's just a cool little nifty trick that a lot of people don't know. And maybe you guys are going to learn it today. If you don't know it already, stay tuned. You can tame up any level RG in just a matter of minutes. Come here. Quit bothering him. Come to me. Come here. Quit bothering Brumilda. Bother me. There we go. Alright, we're just going to lead him into the trap. Let him take a couple bites out of me. Bam. Close the door. And he's out. Let's try that again. You're bothering me. Come on. Stay in there this time. Alright, well, this is embarrassing. Why will you not stay in the trap? There we go. Stay in there. Perfect. Alright, we got him in here. That was kind of a pain, but he's in here. So, what we're going to want to do now, before we start tranking this out, what level is this guy? I didn't see. 15? Alright, he's pretty weak. Alright, first thing we want to do is we are going to want to find ourselves something that we can kill. Now, if we're in a pickle or if we absolutely need to, we can actually cheat the system a little bit. But we need a little bit of hide to do that. Where are you at? Here you are. What we're going to end up doing, hopefully he has some hide. He does. Build ourselves. We'll build ourselves 2 sleeping bags just in case. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to feed our body to the RG. What happens is when you activate the healing buff that these things get, it actually uses their food ridiculously fast within the 20 seconds that healing buff is activated. All right? So what you want to do is you actually want to trank it out to the point till right when it starts to run, and then you drag a body over there. It doesn't have to be yours, it could be anybody. You just drag a body over there. Let's put everything in here. And you feed it to it. Go, bam, 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 bam. Perfect. You feed your body to the RG, and it'll actually activate its healing buff, and it'll lose food very, very quickly. Now, you only have 20 seconds. You only have the 20 seconds that the actual buff is activated, the actual healing buff. And in that time, you actually have to knock it out. If you don't knock it out in that time, you're going to lose the buff. All right. Hopefully, this will kill us. Come on. There we go. Perfect. We're dead. We're going to respawn back here at our sleeping bag. Excellent. Now come back over here to Broomhilda. We'll take you. We'll take you. You. Perfect. And we'll grab our body. Drag the body. Now you don't want to feed it. You don't want to feed it to the RG yet. You want to wait. There we go, until it starts to run. Before. The reason I like the compound bow is because you can shoot a little bit faster. See? He's running. Perfect. So what we're going to do, we're going to drag the body. We're going to wait for him to regain aggro. And as soon as he attacks me, he's going to eat the body. And it's going to activate the healing buff. And once the healing buff is activated, his food is going to drop drastically. I have 20 seconds from that time, from the time the healing buff activating, to actually knock him out for this to work. And this works with any level RG. This one's only a level 15, but you can actually do this with any level RG. Come on, take a bite out of me. Where are you going? Get back here. Take a bite. Take a bite out of me. Come on. Get over here. Take a bite. Come on, you giant turkey. Get some aggro. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Healing buff. Bam. 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 Okay, as you'll see, he is out. And as his healing buff is going, his food is going all the way down. You see that? Perfect. All right. Now what we're going to do from here, it's just a simple matter of throwing that kibble in there. Now I have everything set to official settings. I have everything set to official rates, so this should tame up fairly instantaneously. Oh, perfect. Boom. Look at that. Just like that, you got yourself an RG. Done. Any level RG that works on. I use it to tame 150s all the time on the official servers I play on. It's so easy. Now, what can this guy do? Well, let's pull out the saddle. Let's take a look. Stop all. Come on. This one's a weak one, but they can obviously get pretty good. Oops, wrong button. There we go. They obviously get up to high levels, and they are something that people breed a lot of. First things first. Look at this beautiful, look at this absolutely magnificent beast. In fact, that's actually what its name, Argentavis magnificens, means, is magnificent bird from Argentina. All right, so let's take a look. Right here, the stats on this level 15, it just tamed up to level 22. Not bad. The weight, 408 weight right off the bat. You must have it. Now, the reason that this thing is good, one of the reasons, right here, you'll see that over here in this inventory, you can actually use it as a smithy. So if you have a blueprint that, say, like a Giga blueprint, like a Giganotosaurus blueprint, that just takes too much material to fit into a regular smithy, and you don't want to bust out your replicator, you can use this here instead. You just have to make sure that the weight is capable of holding all of the materials that it can do, because these things will slot cap at 350. So as long as it doesn't take 350 slots to build whatever it is you need to build, this is a great replacement for a smithy. Now, unfortunately, you can't replace, or you can't repair stuff in the smithy of this, but it is still very, very useful. Now, the other thing I told you is there is a healing buff. You guys already knew a little bit about that. Let's see here. Let's grab you. Let's do this. Let's give it a little bit of damage. Perfect. All right. It's got a little bit of damage. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to finish harvesting my body. All right. My body's already finished being harvested. Actually, there's this Rex body that was over here. Perfect. Hopefully nothing's ate it yet. No, it's not made. Alright, no matter. Alright, no big deal. So, you guys saw the healing buff in action. Let's go beat something up real quick, and I'll show you exactly how this buff works. Because it is fantastic. The other thing you'll notice is these things have a weight reduction. And I'll show you what that's about in just a minute. It reduces the weight of certain... What level are you? Okay, cool. You're injured from the Rex fight. Perfect. Ah. Come on. Look at this. Taking out 2 Rexes with or 2 Stegos with a level 15. It's doing all right. It also has a knockback effect. You can actually use this to your advantage too. So even though I am taking a pretty good amount of damage, you're going to notice as soon as I harvest a corpse, I'm getting a healing buff. Right there in the upper right hand corner, you'll see that there's a little plus sign. Now as soon as I kill this Stego, I'll show you. Come on. My health is going up rapidly, as you can see. Perfect. Let's give it. Oops. Let's give it some levels real quick. Just to. Up there in the upper right hand corner, there's a little plus sign. That's indicating that there is regeneration going on. As you can see, this level 15 just took on a pair of mate boosted Stegos, and it didn't really have that much of a problem beating them. All right. So that is another cool thing about it, is that healing buff. It's awesome. And if you do have one that has a lot of HP, you can also compound feeding it food at the same time. So it'll actually get more health faster, and it's just a great way to get its health all the way back up to where it was. All right. Now, finally, we're going to talk about the weight reduction ability of this. So certain things, we'll stop right here. Certain things actually have a weight reduction inside the RG. Metal, stone, crystal, not wood. Unfortunately, wood doesn't. But as you'll see right here, it weighs 10.5 in mine. As soon as we put it in the inventory over here, 5.3. Same thing with the metal. 47, bam, 23.5. It reduces the weight of a lot of different resources. And if you guys want, I'll flash them up on the screen. These are all the resources that this RG, or that any RG, will actually reduce the weight of. So, and also, too, it's actually able to pick creatures up. So, as you'll see right here, if you don't have cryopods, you can pick up your Thyla. You can take it with you. You can pick up, you used to be able to pick up baryonyx, but I'm pretty sure they nerfed that. And on top of that, there's also an additional place you can pick up in the mouth. So if you're flying and if you press your R3 button, you'll actually pick up a small creature in the mouth. Stuff like otters, dodos, troodons, stuff like that. You can actually pick them up in your beak. So you can actually have a creature in your beak and a creature right there in its talons. You can fly around and it can get you where you need to go. It's super awesome for when you're trying to go to the mountains and get yourself some metal, or even doing like oil runs. It's a very, very useful thing. Now that we've covered what this thing can do for you in the game, we're now going to cover what this thing was like in real life. Argentavis magnificus, or the magnificent Argentine bird. This thing came from Argentina. It was the largest flying bird that we have found so far. This thing is huge, 16 to 21 foot wingspan, and that is actually a fairly conservative estimate. All right, when it stood, as it's standing right here, it would stand about 5 to 6 feet tall. So this model is just a little bit bigger, but you know, I'm not a big stickler. I don't particularly care too much to harp on the models that ARK uses. It's a fantasy game. We can all accept that there are certain elements that have to take artistic license. A lot of fossils have been found. It's a fairly well-known species, mostly in Argentina, but It's also found in southern parts of America, some parts of Florida, the La Brea tar pits. This thing is found all over the place. And most of the places that you'll find the fossils of these birds is actually on cliff sides, similar to this. And the reason that is these birds are pretty heavy. They're anywhere from 160 to 180 pounds. They were pretty big birds. And the fact that they could fly had a lot of people believing that they couldn't for a long time. Well, maybe not a long time, but for a time. Although looking at the anatomy and everything, you can actually see on the bones where the flight feathers attached. It was pretty foregone conclusion that these things definitely flew. It lived anywhere from 9 to 6.8 million years ago up until as recently as 10,000 years ago. It is related to the condor. Basically, it is related to the largest flying bird that we have today, the condor. It was more or less probably a scavenger, although a bird this big, it could, if something had stopped and killed something, it could probably chase something else off of its kill. So if there, at this time, if there was, say, a pack of wolves or something, there's a good chance that this bird could stop, could swoop in and scare off some of the smaller creatures in the area. All right. Using its size was definitely to its advantage in that aspect, but it also is probably the reason it went extinct. It was too big. When creatures become too big, they actually end up creating too specialized of a role in their habitat. They're too specialized. So smaller creatures will invariably come in and they'll start taking all the prey, and then these things will eventually starve out. So that it could be that they're too big and they're too specialized in their role and they couldn't adapt to the climate change that happened roughly 10,000 years ago. There's a good chance that's probably why it went extinct. Using the updrafts from these mountains, I know I just went over this, but just in case you guys are wondering, that's why they're probably all over these mountain areas. That's where we actually find a lot of these fossils, is actually at the base of cliffs and mountains. Using the updrafts from the mountains that the wind creates right here is probably how they actually stayed airborne. They didn't have they didn't have super hyper long wings compared to the rest of its body size, which tells us that it was probably more of a glider. They're probably just gliding on the updrafts and everything as it went. So that is everything I pretty much have to say about this. This creature is, if you don't have one, you're not playing the game right. You have to have one. It is a fantastic, amazing creature. It is so useful in everything it does. And this one's pretty cool looking. Too bad it's such a low level. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to wrap up today's video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If there's any other creatures you guys want to see, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Thank you.